Hi everyone, my name is Gina DiFrancesco and I will be doing my presentation on the environmental effects of fracking wastewater. So to begin with, just some background on fracking. Fracking is a technique designed to recover gas and oil from shale rock. It is the process of drilling down into the earth before a high pressure water mixture is directed at the rock to release the gas inside. Water, sand, and chemicals are injected into the rock, which allows the gas to flow out to the head of the well. The process is usually carried out by drilling horizontally to the rock layer and can create new pathways to release gas, or can be used to extend existing channels. Although the extensive use of fracking in the U.S. has revolutionized the energy industry, it has prompted many environmental concerns, from air pollution, water pollution. Everything is a concern here. These current concerns, people say that potentially carcinogenic chemicals may escape and contaminate groundwater around fracking site. The air pollution that methane gas gives off is also a very big concern for people living near the fracking sites, as well as the threat of fracking-induced earthquakes, which is obviously not good. So although all of these environmental impacts are serious, I will be looking more in depth at just the one, which is the environmental effects of fracking wastewater. So some environmental effects of the fracking wastewater, as you can see this as in this diagram, the contamination of underground sources of drinking water, and the diagram shows how when the pipes crack, the chemicals that the hydraulic fluid is pressured through can leak out and contaminate the groundwater. That in some areas, rural areas that people use wells, this is contaminate and possibly carcinogenic, which could harm them a lot. Wastewater is also stored in very large dams, which they have to man-make and create and destroy environmental habitats, animal habitats. So people voice their opinion about that and the animals dying. And there's also abuse of waterways, like I said, groundwater contamination and contamination of water wells and gas migration. So there are many different solutions to fix this. They range all the way from water-free fracking to using recycled water or brine. You could do foam-based fracking, treating the wastewater, plugging the methane leaks, or liquefied propane gas, also known as LPG fracking. A lot of these are good ideas. There's not a lot of research on most of them though, and if you recycle the water, there's concern that more chemicals could be more harmful rather than not harming it at all. So I will be looking more in depth at what is known as LPG fracking. LPG gas fracking, in the most basic sense, involves switching out the working fluid used in the fracking process. Standard hydraulic fracturing uses an injected fluid made up of mainly water, using an average of 60,000 gallons of water per well. This is obviously a lot, and that's also an environmental concern. Water is an effective fracturing fluid because it is functionally incompressible. That is, upon application of high pressure, the surrounding rock will give before the water will. Water was adopted as the standard fracturing fluid initially because it is comparatively cheap and available. However, when it comes to pure functionality, any incompressible fluid will do the job. Although propane is a gas at room temperature and pressure, with cooling and pressurization, it can exist in a virtually incompressible gel-like phase. As such, LPG fracking uses this propane gel in place of water to both fracture the rock formation and deliver propane. And as you can see in this diagram, it gives a little summary here of how it does that. So the implementation process, there's a few concerns because there's obstacles that the market worries about safety in the process due to the potential customers' lack of familiarity with LPG fracking. So anything that people aren't familiar with, they're gonna be against, obviously. And finally, with LPG fracking, in the environmental sense, there are two major concerns associated with water. To summarize, the massive volume of water used and the disposal of potentially polluted produced water, LPG fracking is environmentally attractive in that it effectively addresses both issues. And here are my sources, and thank you.